He flew out here to do my show.
Wow.
And like I said, I thought he was here, and he said, no, Charlene, my main office is in New York. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were in California. He said, no problem. When do you want me to come on your show? I'll fly out. I have an office there too, but I have someone else running it, but I'll come out and be on your show. So don't be afraid. You know, we walk past fear every day.
Come on.
I talk to Pastor about that when for everything I do in my life. I either pick up the phone and call First Lady or pastors. But, you know, fear is a big deal. It stops us from doing our purpose. What if I would have said no because I was afraid?
May I put a pin there? She is so right. How do we deal with the fear that come to all of us?
Yes.
You have to override it with faith.
Yes. Faith.
See, you have to understand that walking by faith is a decision to trust God, His word, what He said to you, and let Him manifest it or bring it to pass as you walk out. And fear may be there, may be all around in your thinking, but you, if you would, ignore it. That's exactly what Abraham did when he was about 100 years old, and God reminded him again, you have so many children you can't even count. He's thinking, you know, God, come on. And finally got to the place, the Bible said he got persuaded. Say persuaded. He got convinced. And the Bible said he staggered not at the promise of God with unbelief. Oh, that's too good to be true. He got to the place, finally, I'm in, God. I'm all the way in. So the fear now goes because faith now dominates his conversation, dominates what he expects, dominates what he believes. And we have to grow in these areas. That's why we got to feed our faith and starve our doubt.
Yes.
And that's not just cliche and nice saying. How do you feed your faith? Faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. You read the word, you hear the preaching of the word, but you study it and get into your heart, and it dries out all the thoughts and stops the thoughts that says, you see on TV what happened to somebody else? No, not going to happen to me. That's not what I see. That's not what God promised me. You just ignore that and you focus on what God promised you. It's an act of faith.
Yes.
Walking by faith. And the fear is like ignored.
Exactly. We walk past our fears.
That's it.
Amen.
You talk to most people, they'll tell you they get afraid at times. Mm-hmm. They don't stay there. Say, I won't stay there.
Can't stay there. I was afraid to do this. When Pastor asked me, I said, what? And so Leilani and I talked about it, and I said, hey, let's do it.
All right, come on.
Let's do it. And that wasn't convincing. Then I said, let's do this.
Yes.
Right?
Amen.
Why not? We all have fears, but don't let that stop you. I see this more with my radio show. You would be surprised the successful people who walk hand in hand with fear every day. And they just continue to ignore it because you can't get to your purpose until you get past your fears. So your why has to be larger than your fears, and your faith in God has to be larger than your fears.
Okay, here you go. Sister, you can understand this. Here you are, you're just walking in the mall. Some guy, hey, baby! That's not your name. And you kind of look over a little outside of your ear, you know, his hair's not combed and no teeth, and, you know. In your mind, that's not what I'm looking for. That's not what I want. Is that hard to ignore him? No. When the doom and gloom is presented to you, that's not what you want. You got to decide, I'm not going to pay attention. He's still over there saying, hi, baby. I ain't paying attention to that. See, a lot of us is learning how to control our thought life. To walk in purpose and to obey God, it is a daily walk. God is constantly speaking to us. Not about just do this and do that and get on a course. On the course, you have to recalculate sometimes. And sometimes you got to ignore certain things. Say, you know what? That's not what I signed up for. God, it's not according to your word. That is not from you. That's from you, devil. And I'm not paying attention to you. Look, talk to the hand. Let's go, God.